props, all the things. Anyway. You guys are not me. So you know, it's just pointed at me, so you're good. I hope you're doing well today. Our theme for today is our theme for today is about self-mastery. Because if you look at yogic philosophy, if you study the text regarding yoga and how to practice it, it really is about developing mastery over yourself. You know, if you look at the philosophy, it's really psychology. How can we master the mind? And it gives us all of these tools and techniques and things to apply so that we are becoming more masterful over the mind that often seems like it's totally on its own and out of control. But we just have to put it into practice. And if you look at the 8-limbed path of yoga called Ashtanga, not the branch of yoga, but the actual philosophy, the first two, the yamas and the niyamas, is all about how to conduct yourself, how to be truthful, how to be honest about letting things go, how to be nonviolent, how to be compassionate. You know, so it gives us kind of a moral ethical code of how to live our life so that we can be happier and healthier. And the point of it is to reduce suffering, because part of this human journey is to suffer. And so these are some ways to reduce your suffering. These are some ways to help you to master yourself. So when you look at the physical postures and you're looking at, you know, all these shapes that we put our bodies into, some people really go after self-mastery over the human form, over the body, right? If you see like people who do circle delay, you know, they actually do yoga practices before they hit the stage. Because the yoga practice is not only going to help them with their mental focus, but it's going to help to open up their bodies and prepare them for all the contortionist things that they're trying to do physically. Now, we're not trying to do that, even though some of the postures may appear that way. This is not about mastering or perfecting a pose, because the true roots of yoga is about mastery over the mind and the senses. So don't get so caught up in the physical aspect, even though the physical is really fun and it helps us to detoxify the body, and it's obviously going to keep the body healthy and strong. It's really so much more than that. So I just want you to be contemplative for a moment and think about maybe some areas in your life where you need to develop a little bit more mastery over yourself energetically, because we are energetic beings. For instance, you know, since I've gotten into yoga, I've become more sensitive to things, and I don't read or watch things that are really violent in nature. I just can't do it anymore. I used to, and I used to not think twice about it. I just cannot sit there and digest it anymore. And it drives my teenage son crazy, because he's like, oh, Mom, let's just see an action movie. It's okay if there's some killing. And I'm like, no, you've been desensitized. I don't want to put that into my brain anymore. So as we develop into yogis, we are going to become more sensitive energetically and over what we are putting ourselves into as far as situations and people and atmospheres, because wherever we are, we're going to be influenced somehow. We cannot help not to be influenced somehow. So is it holding a positive vibe, a positive charge? Is it holding positive energy? Or does it have a negative vibe, negative charge, negative energy to it? Because there's ripple effects that also occur. Right? If I'm going to sit there and absorb all of this, then most likely that's the kind of vibes I'm going to be sending out a little bit later. So it's about creating some purification for ourselves. We are going to start in a pose that's restorative so that we can get a little calmer and a little bit more tuned in, so I can tell you a little bit more about mastering your energy. So you're going to separate your thighs and your knees, sitting back on your heels with your big toes touching. The bolster's going to be set in between And you're gonna lengthen out your spine, gently lying over the prop and turning to one cheek. Separate your arms so that your shoulders can broaden. And if you're not comfortable resting on a cheekbone, then you're welcome to turn to rest on the center of your brow instead. Really kind of depends on the shape of your nose and if that is affecting your breath. So test the waters there to see what's best for you. And go ahead and begin to breathe in a diaphragmatic way so that your belly is bellowing outward as you inhale, softening and retracting in on the exhale. And as you close your eyes and develop this deeper yogic breath, this is going to help you with what we call pratyahara. And that means sensory withdrawal. So instead of looking, listening, and feeling what's around you, start to pay attention and look, listen, and feel from the inside. Our physical energy is dependent upon diet, exercise, and sleep. Are you getting enough healthy food in your diet? Are you getting enough sleep in the evening? Are you putting effort into exercising your body to promote vibrant physical energy? For your mental energy, are you practicing meditation or mindfulness to improve the state of your mind? You're getting 2 of those already just being here on the mat today. Your exercise and this mindful meditation that's going to help to promote more positive mental energy. Now that you've been resting on one cheek, go ahead and lift your face and turn to the other side. This will help to balance the stretch you're receiving in your neck. Close your eyes, drop back down into your body, and let your breath bring you to the present moment of now. The breath is our gateway back to our soul, our spirit, what is infinite within, the true residence in the body. And earlier this week, we were talking about the goal of yoga being liberation, freedom, and how that term also represents our soul, our infinite self, merging with the greater source, the universal intelligence, or the creator. So your breath is a way to promote better spiritual energy. Remember the importance of the breath. It truly is the heart of yoga. All of this will help to promote better emotional energy. We'll clear, we'll override, and we'll transmute some of those negative emotions so that we are more embedded in that foundation and state of love, from which positive emotions flow from. Let's set this as our intention for today's practice. We'll be listening to the soundtrack that is basically just chanting Om over and over. Om is a high vibrational mantra. Just let it become absorbed within your system. Now on your next inhale, we're going to come up out of this position. So go ahead and slide your hands closer to your shoulders, press down through the palms, and slowly begin to climb up to the top. We're gonna move that bolster off to the side, and we're gonna come up to stand at this point. We're gonna get right into our practice. We're gonna start bringing the palms together, and we're gonna rub the hands vigorously, as if we were trying to promote tons of friction, as if we were rubbing two sticks together, trying to create some fire. Now rub, 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 because this is a way where we can do our own scientific experiment to connect and to feel the energy between the hands. They say the hands are very healing. There's tons of reflex points on the hands, just as there are in the feet. I want you to do this about 30 more breaths. This can get tiring in and of itself. You're gonna slowly separate your hands and close your eyes. I want you to feel the magnetism. Feel the energy that you've sparked and awakened. Because even though it cannot be seen, you feel it. Maybe cup your hands as if you're holding a ball of energy. Maybe slowly separating the hands wider to see how large that energetic field has become. And this is what we're working with internally and externally. Science even says we have this field of energy surrounding the body. Let's work with that here. All right, relax your arms now down to your sides. Hopefully you can feel that really good. And have your feet, so they're lined up, heels underneath the hips. We're gonna start with a few energization exercises. And this was brought over by Paramahansa Yogananda. You start by bending your knees, bring your arms together and palms lightly touch. Now we're just gonna do the physical mechanic first. So on the inhalations, which are gonna be short and long through the nose, we'll do that in a minute. You're gonna scrunch your toes. You're gonna start to engage your legs, straightening them out, creating fists with your hands, creating resistance like you have one of those exercise bands. You're going to create a lizard neck, tension through the whole body. And then as we exhale, it's a short, long exhale through the mouth. And we'll come back to where we started. All right, so double inhale, tense and feel. Exhale, relax and let it go. Good, continue. Tensing the whole body on the double inhale. Bending the knees, bring the palms back together on the exhale. Continue. If you're interested in these energization exercises, there are a 45-minute segment of these exercises. We're just going to do a few of them, a few of my favorites. But this comes in if you're ever trying to get rid of maybe being so reliant on your coffee or caffeine first thing in the morning. This is supposed to be a natural way to caffeinate your body and mind. Let's do one more. Good. Now separate your feet a little bit. Your hands are going to be in a fist. The double inhale, the arm goes up. The double exhale, we move to the side. Double inhale up. Double exhale down. All right, we're going to start with the left arm. Side bends are really good for breaking up the tension that gets housed around the lungs. So in essence, it helps to open up our lungs capacity. One more to each side. Hands to fist at your chest. This one is a twist. The double inhale will be here. The double exhale, we swing to the side. Now it looks like all of you have plenty of clearance or you're not going to hit a person or a wall. Now I would suggest keeping a soft bend in the knees because when you swing, you want that looseness in the lower body so you get that turn and twist through your hips. Okay, let's begin. So cleansing is part of the yogic journey, right? We We do cleansing with breath work. We do cleansing with asanas. But twists are said to be the most cleansing postures of all. It's good for the skeletal system. It's good for the muscular system. It's good for the digestive, endocrine, and respiratory system. Last one. Good. Now come stand in the anatomical position. The anatomical position, you're already in it with your legs and feet. All you have to do is turn your palms to face out. And I would suggest having the eyelids at half mast, gazing forward and down, because the energy really lifts up towards the brain, especially with twists, and you might feel a little lightheaded or dizzy. Let that assimilate. Feel how vibrant your energetic body is after that little bit of work. And then bring the feet closer together again. We're going to bend the knees. We're going to flex the right hand. And as we inhale, we're going to circle the hand up towards the heavens. Follow your gaze with your hand, Hasta Drishti. Exhale, backstroke the arm and swoop it down. Inhale up and back. Exhale down and forward. Now you can breathe either the diaphragmatic way, you can use the Ujjayi breath. You're also welcome to do a cleansing breath. So this one I learned from Saul David Ray. He's a famous teacher out in California. He used to come to Sanctuary, actually, and then he started coming to Liberation. Hopefully soon he can return to this area. Maybe here, Jim. All right, we'll switch sides. Flex your left wrist. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, backstroke the arm and swoop it down. So we're opening up the range of motion in the shoulder. But science says that the energetic field around the body can extend out anywhere from 12 inches to 12 feet. So think about places you've gone where you may have been there one evening, it's like such good energy, right? And then you go back to the same place and it's like, ooh, the energy is weird and off tonight, right? You're picking up on that. Last one. Then come back to stand at the top of the mat, hands to prayer position. Now we'll start more of a flow. As you inhale, sweep the arms to your sides and up. Think about gathering all the positive energy around you. And exhale, fold straight down the middle. Once you fold straight down the middle, hang out here for a moment, Uttanasana. Plug your feet down into your mat, straighten out through your legs, lift up through your knees. Hinge from your hips, let your upper body hang free. And our intention is to master our energy, to master ourselves. So affirm, I am master of my energy. I am master of myself. Inhale, come halfway up. Lengthen out to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plow back over and down. On your next inhale, step your left foot back. Once you step the left foot back, I want you to notice when you step back how we're so reliant and dependent on the hands. So I want you to come to the tips of the middle fingers instead. Really push down heavily through your right foot. Fire up your right hamstrings. Glide your right hip towards the back side of the room. Kick your back thigh up a smidge more. Now you're reliant on your legs. And as women, our strength is built more naturally into the lower body. Exhale, descend your back knee. Untuck the back toes. Continue to root down through the right foot. Climb up to Anjanasana, your half lunge. But as you exhale, you're going to hang back, expand open through your chest, and drop through your hips. Inhale, come up through the pelvic floor, up through the navel center, arms reaching up overhead. And then exhale, splay the arms, open the heart and hips. Again, inhale, lengthen up, nice long vertical lines, and exhale, bow back. Do two more. You have to be really reliant on your foundation, the front foot and your back shin. Last one, inhale, builds us up. Exhale, opens us up. Pause here, one more breath. Exhale, the hands come down, curl the back toes under, lift that knee, step into your plank. Pause and plank, wrists below your shoulders. Hug the belly in, lift your head up. Rock forward, lower down to a low push-up. Land your knees. Inhale, rise to upward facing dog. You can always modify with cobra. Curl your toes, launch back to Anjanasana. Press into your hands, lay out your fingers. Charge up through your arms, slide up to your back. Gaze back towards your feet. Control your breath. The main portal of energy is through the breath. So if you want to master your energy, learn to master your breath. On your next inhale, left foot's gonna step through between the hands. Give yourself a helping hand if it doesn't come all the way back. Making sure that that foot is flat, knee aligns over the ankle, and then we'll go ahead and sink the back knee, shin, and foot. Take your time. Good, inhale, get heavy in your left foot. Rise up, Anjanasana. Good, exhale, hang back. Good, continue. Inhale, push down to the mount of that front big toe to stabilize the knee, but not as wobbly. And exhale, release. Inhale, get active. Exhale, you go into that state of surrender. Let's do 2 more. Take your time. We don't have to be in sync with each other. Last one. Then settle the hands down. Curl the back toes under. Pluck up that back knee. Pause here. Come to the tips of the middle fingers. Put your weight, put your effort into that front foot and leg. When you're putting pressure down into that left foot, your heart should actually elevate and float over and beyond the knee. When you're ready, springboard the back foot forward, lift up and out through your chest, and then exhale, plow back down. Pause here, let the head hang, collect at the crown of the head. Open up space for the kidneys in your low back. Inhale, let's come all the way up. Again, think about gathering all the abundant energy that surrounds us. And exhale, bring it home to your heart. We're going to move on from here. Inhaling, gather up. Exhale, bring it home to yourself as you fold straight down the middle. Uttanasana. Inhale, lift and lengthen out halfway. Exhale, slowly drop back in. Now on your next in breath, we're going to step the left foot back. Except this time we're not just sending the back knee, we're going to lift the arms and come more into a crescent lunge. Now the same principle applies. If you want to stabilize that front knee, it really depends on how much you're grounding through the big toe. On the out breath, we're going to hinge forward, sweep the arms back like wings of an airplane. All right, inhaling, rise into crescent. Exhale, hinge over and hover. Take your time, don't feel rushed. And if it's playing too much with your balance, feel free to just hold and strike one pose, right? You can just master the one instead of trying to master the flow. Either one will work. Last one. I'm going to set up 5. Now hang out here without dumping, right? So we're not dumping the chest to the thigh. We're keeping the shoulders back. Exhale, land your hands, right foot plank. Exhale, lower to chaturanga. Inhale, rise to upward facing. And exhale, roll back to downward facing dog. Pausing here. And notice through your effort, whether or not you're utilizing your legs. Most of the time we forget about the legs here, so continue to press to the balls of the feet. Feel your ankles actually lift. Engage your quads, the front side of the thighs, and soar your seat as high as possible. Master of my energy, I'm master of myself. Inhale, left foot steps through. Once you have the feet conditioned into place, see if you can levitate your hands, building up to Crescent Lunge. Stabilize here first. And again, if you need to just hold this position, that's fine. Otherwise, exhale, hinge forward like you're about to fly. Inhaling up. Exhaling. Spill over and hover. Continue. Move at your own pace, according to your personal breath. It's not about what anyone else is doing. Final one. Pause a moment as if you were getting an aerial view. Then descend your hands to help to step the right foot forward. Elongate the vertebrae first. And then exhale, just spill on down. Now this begins to calm the body. Any forward fold does. Let your mind and body calm down. Slow down your breath. Inhale, root to rise up. Gathering on you. And then exhale, bring hands to the heart. All right, we're going to blend these together on the third round. Inhale, gather the abundant energy around you. Bring the positive vibes down into your heart and let it go all the way down to the feet as you bow. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Once you sprout up, exhale, melt back down. Inhale, left foot steps back. Sink the back knee, shin foot. We're going to blend this together. Inhale, Anjanasana. Exhale, arch back. Inhale, build up. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, pluck the back knee up. Lift your arms, crescent. Exhale, take flight and hover over the front leg. Now inhale, sink the hands to the floor. Exhale, twist open to your right. Pause here. Back thigh flex up towards the sky. Keep rotating your belly towards the front thigh. Lower the right hand. Inhale, step back, plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. All right, blending those first two together and adding in the twist. But recollect here first. We don't want to just haphazardly move from one position to the next. We want to do so mindfully and intentionally and deliberately to gain that self-mastery. So take pause anytime you need to. Inhale, left foot steps through. Give yourself a helping hand. Plant it down, sink the back knee, shin foot. Inhale, Anjanasana. Good, exhale, hang back. Bring the hands down. We'll inhale, crescent lunge. What we did in that second flow. And then exhale, pour over, spreading your arms, your wings, the extensions of your heart. Inhale, release the hands. Exhale, rotate to your left. Right palm down, left fingertips rising. Breath nice and full. Exhale, lower the left hand. When you're ready, bring the back foot forward, open your heart center, and exhale, release. Inhale, bring it all the way up to upward worship. And we're gonna hold here in upward worship. Open your throat wide, gaze towards your hands. I am master of my energy, I am master of myself. Sometimes when we get negative thoughts or feelings just overwhelming us out of nowhere, it's not even ours to own. We may be picking up that energy from someone close by. Exhale, bring the hands down, your midline and fold. We're going to step back to downward facing dog. And we're going to bring the left knee and chin just behind the hands. You got it. Now look at your left knee and slightly make sure that it's facing off to the left side. And then we're going to drip down and take pigeon pose. And let me know, I mean, usually I can tell if you're getting a little fidgety, but if this isn't good for your hip, your knee, or your ankle, there's always an alternative. I'll just go ahead and show you. You can always flip to your back and do this number instead, which takes the pressure and the weight out of the knee. Put your face down. I would encourage closing your eyes. I would encourage you to neutralize any expression in the face. I've noticed, especially since we had to start wearing masks, my jaw and teeth and mouth would just tighten up. Even though I was hidden behind the mask, it was hard for me to communicate that way. Notice if you feel that way internally in the mouth. And if so, it might be a nice idea to take a cleansing breath where you inhale through the nose and then exhale. That long audible sound through the mouth, because it can help the jaw to release. Swing breath, we'll slowly start to climb out. Travel the hands back in. And you're going to lower to your left hip and thigh to swing the right leg out in front of you. All right. We're going to start with Anjanasana. Flex your right foot, fly the arms up, and then exhale, hinge out over the straight leg. So earlier this week, I know you guys weren't here, but the whole theme was based on moksha, which is the true goal of yoga, which means liberation or ultimate freedom. It can also mean bliss or merging with the higher power. So when you're pouring over, remember the goal is not to touch the toes. The goal is to not lay flat over the leg. We tend to get caught up in that idea, especially if we see photographs or someone else doing it. But we're basically just trying to free up our body, free up our mind, free up our spirit. As long as we're doing that, we're doing it right. All right, we're going to do Anjanasana B. So if we move into that position, if it's too much for the knee, you're just going to come back and do this a second go round. Okay, B is we actually lift and move. I'll show you from a different angle. The heel is right up on the left side of my groin, on the left side of the pubic bone. It feels slightly awkward, right? We're not used to sitting on something like this. But when I first did this pose and found out yoga was created by men for men, I heard this pose is really good for the prostate. I thought, well, I never have to do that pose because I'm a woman. I don't have that, right? But then I started learning about meridians and acupressure points. We all have that. There are 3 meridians that come up here, liver, spleen, kidney meridians. So this is helpful for us all. And then you're going to try to hinge over the straight leg. You're probably not going to go as far. That's okay. We're not going to stay in it as long because this may be new for you. Yeah. Okay, that'll be enough. Right? At least you get the feel of it, and it won't be so unfamiliar the next time you do it. All right, we're going to bend the right knee, lean onto that hip, and we'll do that sequence. If you prefer down dog and then, you know, what we did earlier, if you prefer to come here and then enter into it the same way, it's fine. It's basically just moving into pigeon now with the right knee in the lead. Now, do you see how your knee's pointed straight forward? Yes. If you slide your knee towards Stephanie to your right and then lift your hip up. Yes, okay. Then come down. Yes. Again, it wouldn't matter, but since we're being more active, you want the hips more square. Maximize your breath. Just sit quietly. Listen to that ancient sound, sacred sound in the background. We're just going to pop onto that right hip. Lean or slide that left leg around in front. Regular Anjanasana first. Lift the arms overhead, flex that left foot, and exhale forward. You are turning it slightly through your navel center, over the thigh bone. Trying to shine the heart out towards the toes. trying to draw the toes back towards the heart. Forward folds help us to go more inward. So they promote that aspect of pratyahara, sensory withdrawal. Let's come up. Let's move to Janashasana B, just to give it a go. Now we're going to lift up and move our seat towards the right heel. And then we're going to fold out again over the straight leg. So there is a lot more happening with the knee here. If it's too much, just back up and do it the regular way. So in Ashtanga yoga, there's a certain branch of yoga. They do 3 of these Janashasana poses, and they call them A, B, C. We just did A and B. Ready to come up, you can back away. We're not going to do C, but just so you have kind of a visual, C is where you lift the heel up to the inner thigh and let the hip externally rotate. It's a lot on the toes. But sometimes you'll see pictures. I know it's a lot. Sometimes you'll see pictures of famous teachers. Both feet are like this. Both heels are up and they're residing on their toes. It looks crazy. But that's where they get it from. And that's a prep for that. If you're ever curious, like, how are they even getting there? You could try Janashasana C as a prep. All right. So the affirmation we've been using, you're going to need your blanket. We've been using one. I'm a master of my energy, I'm a master of myself. This actually stems from Ananda Yoga. And there's one pose in particular that the affirmation goes for. Since it was our theme, I've been using it for several poses. But it's called Sasangasana, or hair pose. So we're going to do a couple of different variations of hair pose. You may or may not need the blanket. I just think it's more comfortable with the blanket. And then I'll give you an opportunity if you're feeling up for headstand, if you're feeling like, you're ready to go stand completely on your head, then I'll give you time for that. You don't have to. I'm also going to give you another option of standing legs at the wall, since we have walls to use. So the first one, I would say, have the blanket in front of you, sitting on your shins, and your hands kind of tucked up underneath the blanket, wrist aligned with your knees. You got it. This is like the easier, gentler form of hair pose. And so we all know cat stretch back, right? So create your cat stretch back and then buckle your arms so your forehead's coming close to the knees. And then getting into hair pose, you would lift your seat away from your feet and you're rolling towards the top of the head. Now you can just hold it, or you can roll with your breath. So your exhale, you're dropping back similar to child's. And your in-breath, you're rolling back over the crown of your head. Exhale, rolling down. Inhale, rolling up. So there's lots of pressure points on the head. So it's good for those pressure points. It's good for stimulating hair follicles. It's good for tension headaches as well. All right, now roll back to the forehead and lift your face off the floor towards me for a moment. So a second variation, if you want to try it, is grabbing a hold of your heels, bringing the forehead close to the knees again. And you'll sit up the same way, except this time you hold it so that you're really stretching out your upper back. So that you're kind of tapping into those rhomboid muscles up underneath your shoulder blades. You're creating kind of that cat stretch back. So the belly is scooping in. You're puffing into your upper back. Right on top of the head, gazing back towards your own thighs. And then exhale, release. Now, can it be possible for you to sit up on your heels? Is that a possibility? No. Okay, well then come up to standing Vajrasana. So if you're not comfortable sitting this way, follow Stephanie's lead. Yeah, it's a blanket if you need it. So in Kripalu yoga, they have something called, they call it yoga mudra, but it's like what we've been doing, Sasanasana, except the hands are tethered behind the back. So if you want to try that, shoulders roll back towards the spine, and you lift your hips, come toward the crown of the head, and you continue to pierce the navel towards the spine. Now make sure there's weight on your knees, not just your head. If you have neck issues, I wouldn't recommend this one. I would place the hands back to the floor. So if you want to do headstand, you may or may not want to, but I would suggest you can go to a wall. I'm just going to demo first, and then I'm going to have you go to a wall no matter what. And you could do your headstand or legs up the wall, and I'll show you legs up the wall too. So this will just provide more padding. If you're going to do your headstand, it's important that you measure your arms correctly, where your hands wrap around your elbows, then the fingers lace together. And that way, you're not going to strain your shoulders with the arms being too wide. They'll stay narrow. And it also gives you that ability to engage your shoulders, your triceps, your upper back, your core. So it's not all about the brunt of the weight on the head. Once you walk the feet in, you're welcome to curl in, to pike up, to scissor up. And then you're pointing the toes, trying to draw the inner thighs together. And if you don't feel like going up into headstand, I get you, because I don't always feel like doing that either. And so what you could do instead is still getting the benefits of being inverted without all the efforts. You come down to one side, you roll the legs up the wall, you're flat on your back, and you just get to relax. So choose one or the other, or of course both. Jen's like, I hear ya, I'm ready to walk. Because it just was really cool. Okay. All bellies. All bellies are beautiful. Who said that? I said she just took a picture of my belly. I'm having to really embrace that going through menopause. Yeah. And
Same here.
Oh, welcome. Yes. Someone came to my class yesterday who was wearing a crop top and like pants and a crop top. And she's never worn anything like that before. And I was like, oh my God, Megan, you look adorable. And she wrapped her hands around her belly and she said, I don't know, I've never walked out of the house like this before. I was like, you look amazing. And she said, well, that's what my husband told me. Oh. It was so sweet. I love it. As women, we should embrace our bellies. And as women, our bellies are supposed to be soft. They're supposed to be plush. So let's embrace it right now. And let's let the belly be soft. Let it balloon as you inhale and deflate on the exhale. There's so much creative energy that runs rampant in this area of the body. It for learning how to master our energy, think about the things we could be birthing, not children, but our creative ideas that are waiting to be birthed. How have you been harnessing and managing, distributing, and responding energetically? Have you been focusing on what you want instead of what you don't want? Have you been focused on what uplifts you versus what drains you? We need to learn to master our energy, to craft the life that we want, and to stay on the path that we desire. I want you to create a commitment to yourself, at least for today, that you will only go where your energy is celebrated, appreciated, and reciprocated. Because you are worthy of that. Take time to just relax and breathe for the next few minutes. Back to your breath. Open it up. Once it becomes re-enlivened, you can add movement to your hands and feet. Walk or slide the feet down the wall. Turning to one side of your body. Acclimating here first. Coming up to take a seat. Sitting with yourself a moment, checking in. Hopefully noticing a positive difference. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or any of the blend. Joining your hands together to Anjanasana Mudra prayer position. We go forth from the practice. Remember, where attention goes, energy flows. Let's be mindful of what we put our attention towards. That way, we're continuing our yoga off the mat. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Yeah,